Inside the apartment in the High Bridge section of the Bronx, a law enforcement source telling me they found a man's torso and foot in a plastic storage bin.
Damn.
Yeah. Woo. You need reactions and be ready in a second. Want the lower baby court is now in session. Yeah. You need reactions and be ready in a second. Want the lower baby court is now in session. Let's go.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to a news edition of Attorney Session Reacts. Again, I'm your host, Attorney Marcus Session. Today, we're going to cover a couple of stories in national news and international news. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, first, we're going to cover news regarding a man by the name of Sheldon Johnson, who appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast a short while ago. So he's a prison reformist, right? He's an individual who served 25 years in prison. And when he came out, he discussed with Joe about how he made changes, how he was working to push prison reform. He became a better person, got his GED, got educated. Just a month later, after doing that interview with Joe Rogan, which is the most popular podcast on the planet. Guys, please help me to get my show that famous so I can start inviting some big people up. Not killers, but yeah, anyway. So he was recently arrested for murder. And so let's cover the details of that story.
Police make an arrest after a human torso and foot were found inside a building in the Bronx.
The suspect has been identified as Sheldon Johnson, a criminal justice activist who previously served time in prison.
All right, Fox 5's Linda Schmidt live in the High Bridge section of the Bronx tonight with more on this surprising turn of events. Linda.
Yeah, certainly surprising. Well, first of all, this guy said he had turned his life around after spending most of his adult life in prison. In fact, just last year, he started working with the Queen's Public Defender's Office. Well, now he is accused of shooting a man in the head in the apartment building right here behind me and then dismembering his body. 48-year-old Sheldon Johnson of Harlem is charged with murder and concealment of a human corpse. This is Johnson recently on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about how he had turned his life around after a life of crime. He was working with troubled youth with the Queen's Public Defender's Office. The shirt he is wearing says Queen's Defenders.
I got.
So I'm one who really believes in rehabilitation and people turning their lives around. But we have to be careful that a person has made a full 180. And it takes a while to get through and get past things, especially if we made a life habit of them.
I got into school, I got my GED. From there, I got involved in correspondence courses. I started interacting with guys who were teaching ART, aggression replacement training, and I started to begin to understand how these concepts work, what positive visualization is, deep breathing, how to remove yourself, conflict resolution.
Deep breathing, get the hell out of here. So, okay.
Well, police say Johnson's life of crime apparently was not over. He is accused of shooting 44-year-old Colin Small in the head in Small's sixth-floor apartment on Summit Avenue and then dismembering his body. Detectives combing over potential evidence again today. Inside the apartment in the High Bridge section of the Bronx, a law enforcement source telling me they found a man's torso and foot in a plastic storage bin.
Damn. Damn. Okay, first off, my thoughts and prayers go out to the family of the victim. That has to be a horrible way to witness the end of a loved one. So, damn. This is a sick man. Joe, you should have vetted his ass.
Investigators also found the victim's head, legs, and arms in Johnson's freezer in his apartment building in Harlem.
Okay, so I'm about, okay, all right, brother, okay. I was going to say black dudes don't do this kind of stuff, but apparently I'm wrong.
The superintendent of the victim's apartment building saying a neighbor heard gunshots and surveillance video tells the story.
The tenant of the apartment, he came in, he never came out. So I called police because it's suspicious.
I said this before. Guys, there's always somebody watching. There's always somebody watching. There's always eyes on you. In 2024, there's cameras everywhere. Population density is so high in every major city that there's always going to be a set of eyes on you. So be cognizant of that if you're trying to commit crimes, which I hope you're not trying to do.
Providing me with these surveillance pictures inside the building that allegedly show Johnson carrying bags in and out of the apartment building the day of the murder and changing his clothes several times.
So, this is evidence of deliberation and a well thought out plan, right? This is intentional murder. This is the highest form of murder, right? And so, judging by what he did afterwards to conceal his footprints in the evidence, and to conceal what he did, there's a pretty strong case that he's going to be properly convicted.
As well as wearing disguises.
This motherfucker, I don't know. Oh man, wow.
Now today I also reached out to the Queens Public Defender's Office where Sheldon Johnson had been working, but they had no comment.
Damn right they're not going to comment. You're damn right they're not. They should have vetted him too. Unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. In other news, coming out of Iran, and I've dated girls from Iran before, and pretty fiery characters. Okay, but we're not talking about that. But news out of Iran, rapper Tamaj Salehi sentenced to death, his lawyer says. Popular Iranian rapper Tamaj Salehi was sentenced to death over his role in supporting the protest movement triggered by the death of Gina Mahsa Amini. A lot of times we hear people talking about how bad America is and about how freedom of speech can't fully be exercised here. And this is a primary example of how good we have it, actually, because you see an individual here being sentenced to death for protesting. Branch 1 of Isfahan Revolutionary Court sentenced Tamaj Salehi to death on the charge of corruption on earth. Corruption on earth. That's a damn charge in Iran. Corruption on earth. What the? The charge covers a broad range of offenses, including those related to Islamic morality, and can carry the death penalty. Salehi was arrested for showing support for anti-government protests following the death of 22-year-old Iranian Kurdish woman Gina Mahsa Amini in September of 2022. He had also written songs about the protests. So one of my exes, you would tell me that if you ever are outspoken in support of any anti-government movements, the best idea is to never go back to Iran, because of course they will monitor that. And I didn't really believe it, but this is a direct representation of what's going on and what she was telling me. Yeah, sad situation, sad story.
Let's go.